welcome, viewers. This is A Vision Entertainment once again, and you know that we have another special show for the fans. We just want y'all to know that we are here right now with a legend, a female icon. That's what I want to call her. She's a female icon. She Light. I know you have a few names, but She Light.
Yes.
Right? I want to thank you so much for coming on to the show. And just hopefully that when you come out, because you have a lot of music, you're doing a lot right now.
Yes.
And I'm getting ready to read a short bio, just something short, so the fans can know exactly who you are. Those that don't know, you know, flourish with originality and impactful identity and timeless performances. Two-time Grammy winner, dancer, singer, and a member of the multi-platinum group Arrested Development. Ladies and gentlemen, we have She Light. Like I said, you have a few names connected with that. But I thank you for that. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I am great. You are here now, and I am happy.
Yeah.
So how was the ride from where you guys was coming from? How was the ride?
It was great. It was great. We had to make a couple of stops here and there, but it was
Yeah,
great for the most part. We got here safe, thank God, you know.
that's great. That's great.
So
That's
we're
always
just
good.
excited, ready to perform tomorrow with Diggable Planets for New Year's Eve and bring in the new year. So we're
Wow.
excited. And thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you to your listeners, supporters. I'm so
Mhm.
grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. 100. I thank you once again. And we just want to take the fans back to just your music and your
Yes.
discography, just everything that you have done. First, I want to talk about. Let's go back to Arrested Development, United Front. That's 1994. Mr.
Yes.
Window, 1993, and
Uh-huh.
Tennessee, 1992. Can you
Mm.
take us back to how Arrested Development came together and how you entered the group? How did that
How
happen?
I entered the group. So I have to go all the way back to it starts with my mother.
Okay.
So my mom, she owned one of the first owned black dance schools in the state of Georgia. She
Wow.
taught me how to dance.
Mm-hmm.
She taught me everything I know about performing.
Mm-hmm.
And CeeLo Green was actually one of her students too.
Kilo Green.
She taught a lot of people.
Okay.
But so it started with her. You know what I mean? Shout out to my mom, Billy Ann Gaither.
Okay.
She's no longer with us, and I'm keeping the legacy going.
That's right. That's right.
Keeping the legacy going. But I honor her. Uh, she actually was the one that was like, "Hey, I got the opportunity through my sister and a guy named Ian Burke. He was managing the group at the time." And Ian went to my sister and was like, "Hey, Arrested Development is looking for our African dancer." And my sister has been in the music industry for years. She was an artist at the time and also dancing behind different artists like James Brown, Pebbles, different people.
Oh
And
wow.
she was like, "Well, I don't want to do it, but my little sister does African dance." So she took me. I was in the eighth grade. I was
Hmm.
13 years old.
Wow.
And speech and headliner were in college at the Arts Institute of Atlanta.
At that
And
time, right?
yes, at that time. So
Okay.
Ian took me, this was like late 80s. And Ian took me to Ian and my sister took me to the audition. I
Hmm.
had on some black hammer pants, a yellow and white polka dot turtleneck, because I
Okay.
love Kwame. I had on my shiny patent leather
Yeah.
shoes with a big old bow and my
Hmm.
little asymmetrical hair.
That's right. There you
And I
go.
went and I did my African dance.
Hmm.
And honestly, that's how it happened. So it really was my sister's opportunity, and she just passed it along to me. So when they saw me, I do think that speech thought I was a little too young,
Hmm.
but headliner was like, okay, yeah, she's good, because they were in their 20s,
Hmm.
when they met me. So yeah, so I was
Okay.
the youngest member. And so
Wow.
after that, it just kind of organically, you had headliner speech. They were already together. Speech is the founding member. Then
Hmm.
headliner joined him. They went to college together. Then I came along. Then we
Hmm.
had other people. Shout out to Astrid, Nisa, and a couple other people just in and out. Like they were jam with us
Yeah.
back in the day. And so for a long time, I would say stable, like permanent type of member was
Hmm.
me, speech and headliner. And
Yeah.
then we met Razadon
Write it down.
at a Greek step show in Atlanta at the World's
Wow.
Congress Center. He and Dion Ferris. And Dion Ferris was never a part of the group, but she was just a guest vocalist
I
on a lot
guess.
of the first record.
Hmm.
And they came down from New Jersey, and with Michael Malden, Jermaine Dupri's dad, he brought them because he was getting ready to start managing us
Hmm.
at the time. He
Wow.
brought them, and so they came. And then Baba went to college with speech, and he also was in Speech's mom's and dad's wedding. He found that
Oh,
out
wow.
later. He was a
Okay.
best man,
At
and
the wedding.
yes, in their wedding, yeah. And then
Mhm.
Early Tari, she lived in Madison, Wisconsin, and she knew speech as well. So it just all kind of
It connected.
organically
Everything
came.
connected, came together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
the
Wow.
original members are speech headliner, myself, Razadon, Baba OJ, and Early Tari. And then we had a lot of guest vocalists, Paulette,
Hmm.
Dion. It was just a lot of amazing people along the way that contributed their gift and talents to
Wow.
the
Wow.
projects.
That's amazing. You know why? Because when you see Arrested Development, it was more like I want to say, a positive message you
Mhm.
guys sent out in the
Right,
music industry. How
right.
was it before you got signed? Was it hard getting a deal because of the way how you guys was bringing the music in a positive form? Because it seemed like they all want negativity, but when they saw you guys, how was that? The
Well,
recognition.
back in the day, so it was so different. Back then, I
Yeah,
think that, people did celebrate, the diverse
yeah,
talents and creative arts from
mhm,
everyone. But of course, I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and everybody else
yeah,
came down to Georgia to go to school or what have you, or they
mhm,
just moved there and wanted to get a different experience. So in the South, it was very different. Like, a lot of booty shake,
yeah,
bass
yeah,
music, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So AD was not that type of music or that sound.
Mhm.
However, it took us 3 years, 5 months, 2 days in the life of. That's why the name of the first
What?
album is called that.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to hold that for a second because I need the viewers to know why the title. The title represents. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to say it. Why the title? 3 years, 5 months, and 2 days, and the life of. Can you explain the reason
Yeah,
for that title?
it took a long. That's how long it took for Arrested Development to be signed
To
to
be
a record
signed.
label. Yeah.
Wow, wow,
And
wow,
yeah. And so we
wow.
were doing shows and talent shows and stuff around Atlanta.
Hmm.
And I remember performing in clubs at 13 years old, and no one ever questioned how old I was.
Hmm.
I
Not
would
at
just
that
go
time.
do my
Hmm.
job and everything. But it was crazy. By the time I got 21, I absolutely hate clubs.
Yeah, yeah,
Unless it's work,
yeah.
But I grew up just performing, and my mom was just so supportive. She's a woman of the arts and also as an educator. She was like, "You do good in school, don't get in trouble. You could be in the group, but if you violate anything, you
Hmm.
got to come out." So I stayed on my P's and Q's
That's right. That's
because
right. That's right.
I just love performing
That's right.
and singing and dancing and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool. The music was different, and it was just a different energy for me. And
Yeah.
anytime I can dance and do African dance, especially, I get real happy.
Wow, wow, I know. And I know there's a lot of people, we're going to get into that also, that you
Yes,
kind of teach them, other artists, about dancing and, the rhythm to it. We're going to get
yes,
into all of that. We will.
yes,
Let's talk about the album Bullets in the Chamber. It's described as one of the best hip hop albums of 2024, which features
yes.
a host of great artists. Was there any doubt that the album title would stir up controversy?
You know what? I had nothing to do with that part.
Okay, okay, okay. You
So
pass it
that's a
along.
speech question. But
Okay, okay, okay.
I don't think so. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't think so at all.
Hmm.
Just when I hear it, it's just, you know, basically letting people know that we're still here.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and we're still saying something. And,
Hmm.
I was really grateful to be able to be featured on
That's
three
right.
records.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So I
That's
was
right.
And it was a lot of fun recording. I recorded with Speech and Razadon. Us being original members, it was
Hmm.
awesome because we hadn't been in the studio together in a good time.
A good time.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because we original members, we had done a record for Japan back
Hmm.
in 2000. We did an EP and an album, Heroes of the Harvest and The Feeling.
The
And
feeling.
so
That's right.
we did that. And
That's right.
so yeah, it was fun. It felt like old times. And just to be able to show people that I do so much more than just dance. I
That's right.
sing, I
That's right.
write, I do a
I
whole
know.
bunch, a host of things.
You're choreographer. You do a lot. You
Yes,
you know
I
you
do.
wear a lot of hats in
I
the
do. I
industry.
do. I do.
Yeah, and you've also you made a name for yourself in the entertainment industry as a singer, dancer, again choreographer and songwriter,
Yes.
and later transcended and blossomed into a solo artist.
Yes.
Where was the moment you felt it was time for you to go on and do your own thing?
Well, so back in 2012, I just had this, you know, urge or feeling, I have a relationship with God. So I'm always
Yeah,
talking to God.
yeah.
And I kept hearing the Lord say, it's time for you to come off the road.
Okay.
And I didn't understand it fully. And I was like, okay, because I've been traveling and doing tours, since I was a little, teenager,
Yeah.
young preteen.
Hmm.
And the only other time that I did not tour is when I had my daughter. But then right after I had her, she was on the road with me at 2 months. I was
Wow.
I was working
Wow.
when I was pregnant with her up until I
Okay.
couldn't.
Hmm.
But when I had this urge, but not knowing that my mother was going to pass 3 years later.
Wow.
So I was with my mom every day, my daughter, my mom. We were just like, you saw one of us, you saw all of us. So
That's right.
during that time, when I knew that God had me on this path, but I didn't quite understand
Hmm.
fully, I just started doing music because I always had a love. I like all types of music,
Yeah.
but I love R&B music.
That's right.
And so I wanted to kind of try my hand at doing some things and just writing with and working with different producers,
Hmm.
and that's what I did. So it was fun. It was a great time for me to believe in myself,
That's
and
right.
because sometimes people try to put you in a box and they try to make
Yeah.
you like all you can do is what people know you from, like,
Hmm.
oh, all you do is dance, all you do is this. No, I've written for Angie Stone.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
done a lot of different things
Hmm.
on and beyond Arrested Development. And I wanted people to see me, because a lot of people, they met me when I was young. So they like, oh, you're still that little girl. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's all they see.
And yeah,
That's what they see, but they don't understand. There's way more to it. But it's way
exactly.
more to it with you. You
Yes,
know.
I just turned 50, so it's like,
Oh, mhm.
it's so much, and I'm working on some new stuff now. I have a documentary about my life
Wow.
I've been working on for over 2 years. It's about to
Wow.
come out, and
Okay.
I have an amazing team. Shout out to Jay and Ty and the rest of the crew. And
That's right. Get them
I
shout
manage.
out. Mhm.
Yes, I manage my daughter.
Mhm.
She's a model. She's been modeling professionally for 10 years. My little supermodel.
Oh,
And I
good.
also have an artist that I manage named Bobby. And even back in the day, I actually had an artist signed to LaFace Records. Her
Oh,
name was
wow.
Donnie. Her name is Don Turan. And I
Hmm.
also, and after she left LaFace Records, she was signed to Mike Tyson for a while because Mike
Wait,
Tyson had a record label. Yes. So
Mike Tyson had a record label.
he did. Yeah.
What was the name of his label back then?
I want to say it was Tyson Records, I
Tyson
think.
Records. Wow, wow. Oh, I
Yeah,
never knew
yeah.
that.
It was a
Something
short
new.
period of time. A short period of time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so I've kind of like, not only have I done solo music, but I've dealt, gotten behind the scenes, from
Yeah, yeah.
management to
Mhm.
creative directing to styling to
Yeah.
just makeup, so many different things, like helping artists really develop and hone in on who they are.
Mhm.
So done a lot of artist development. So I was so young in this business, and all the things that happened to me, I experienced, the good and the challenging.
Yeah.
I wanted to share that with artists and say, hey, XYZ, prepare yourself because this is a business. And
That's right.
we're in the information knowledge.
That's
I
right.
mean, it's
Era.
technology age now.
That's
But
right.
back when I was coming up, you learned by trial and error.
You know what?
So,
It's funny you said that. I was going to ask you, coming into this industry, what was more valuable to you, experience or education?
well, that's a great question. I think for me,
Yeah.
coming in this industry, I did not, I was literally, when we came out, I was 16.
Oh, yeah,
When
yeah.
when
Still
Tennessee
young.
came out, I was 16 years old.
High
It came out
school.
in 1991, December of
Wow.
1991.
Wow.
And it was like, I didn't, I just, passion is what drove me
Passion.
to be able to get on stage and perform and share
Okay.
my art with the world and make people smile and, that whole thing and continue my mom's legacy.
That's right.
Because I did get accepted to Morris Brown and Clark, and I was going to apply for Spelman as well
Hmm.
because I actually wanted to either dance for Alvin Ailey or be a lawyer.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, I wanted to do criminal law because the high school I went to, Thurl High School, our magnet program was law and government.
Okay.
And so,
Okay.
um, but I often tell people this industry chose me. So, you know, I feel like I never went to college, but I feel like I did go to college because I went
Yeah.
to college of life,
That's
traveling
right.
all around the world and
That's right.
seeing things
Mhm.
that they taught
That's
us
right.
in school
That's right.
in the history books. When I get to these places, I was like, that's a lie. That wasn't, they told us a lie,
Hmm.
that wasn't true. So, just discovering things. So the experience and education, for me, both was, I think now looking back, was
Hmm.
important, but it was just passion. It was just like, I never forget my mother. I was in my senior year of high school,
Hmm.
and I had like just a few more months before graduation. I had to go to prom. I didn't walk with my class. And my mom was like, I got the opportunity. We were going on a chitlin circuit tour. And I think it started like
A
March.
chitlin circuit
A
tour.
real chitlin circuit tour. It was
Wow.
rough. Like when I say a 15 passenger van, not those little fancy sprinters that you
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
with a
Wow.
U-Haul connected on the back. And
Wow.
we were laying on top of each other. It was crazy. But
Hmm.
um I remember my mom saying, and again, she was an educator, she got it, but she also was a woman of the arts.
Hmm.
And she said, the opportunity came, and she said, you can always finish school, we can do the homeschool. And she
Yeah.
said, but these opportunities only come once in a lifetime. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she understood that the calling and the purpose, because even now I'm still doing it and it's connected to my purpose in
That's
life.
right.
So she had the foresight to see, and she wanted me to live my life and do what was best for me.
That's for
So
you.
my
Yeah.
mom supported me all the way up to the day she died, which was in 2015, November 7th. So, I'm so grateful for her because she sacrificed a lot,
Hmm.
for me to do what I do, and all my siblings as well. So I'm so
Wow.
grateful to her.
Wow. That's wonderful. And I know you have a lot of history behind your career. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. And what is the inspiration behind your music and performance experiences?
My mom, honestly, my mom,
Okay,
she
great,
just,
great.
she taught me when I was a little girl. She was like, whatever you do, you give it 150%. So I am a bona fide overachiever, a bona fide
Bonafide. That's right.
perfectionist.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I go hard or go home. I don't know how to go any other way. And then also my daughter, my daughter is
Yeah.
she's my most favorite human.
Wow. That's
And
good.
she's
So
an
y'all real
amazing,
close. Y'all real tight,
oh,
are
we're
you?
very close. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's an
Yeah.
amazing young lady. And she inspires me so much. And I do it because um I just want to continue my mom's legacy.
That's
She,
right.
again, she sacrificed so much. She poured into so many people, so many the arts arena. She
Hmm.
really did. And a lot of her dancers have gone on to do great things. And I was like, I can't stop here, And so I
Yeah.
am my mother's child for sure.
Wow. Wow. That's right. That's right. What is one thing you would like to do that you haven't done yet?
Oh, that's a great question.
Mhm.
So I love animals.
Oh,
I
okay.
love animals. I want to go to Africa,
Oh,
and I want to do where they rescue the elephants. I
yeah.
would love to do some stuff like that. Spend some time in
Hmm.
Africa doing that with the elephants
Yeah.
and just nurturing them back to good health. And I love that. I love that. I also would like to build a community
Hmm.
for single parents, women and men, because you have
Okay.
single mothers, single
That's right.
fathers,
That's right. That's right.
and helping
Hmm.
them get on their feet, because I know what it's like to be a single parent.
Yeah.
And it's tough. You know, I was married a long time ago, but I've been more of a single parent more than I, was married. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Longer on the
Okay.
opposite end.
Yeah, it was an opposite. That's
Yeah,
cool.
and it's shout out to my ex. Great
Okay.
guy.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
We
cool.
made a beautiful baby, but
Hmm.
yeah, we're cool. But yeah, I would love to, like, do that, build communities and help people around the world. Like, I love
That's
doing
good.
philanthropic stuff. Yeah,
Hmm.
so but definitely want to go abroad and uh get with the elephants for sure.
Wow, that's amazing because you've mentioned traveling. I mean, you've mentioned Africa, and
Yes.
I know you traveled the world. You never stopped through Africa during your
Oh yeah,
travels.
yeah. Been in
Okay.
South Africa. I've been to South Africa a few times, and Morocco. I want to go
Wow.
other places, other countries. But the first time I went to South Africa was in 1994 when Nelson Mandela was president, and we
Wow.
partnered with him doing something for UNICEF.
Hmm.
And I got a chance to meet him, and that was like a wow, pinch me moment type of energy.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'll never forget that. It was crazy because when he walked on stage, I was like, oh my God, that's Nelson
You couldn't
Mandela. Oh
believe
my
it.
God.
You couldn't
And
believe it.
I couldn't believe it. He was tall,
Yeah.
his hands just seemed like they were so massive. And he reached out his hand, and I just was staring at him with my mouth open, like, I don't even think I said hello.
Wow.
And that was and all the people from the neighboring villages and communities, they came out and they just started
Mhm.
singing in harmony. It sounded like angels singing. It was the most amazing experience. So yeah, I definitely want to, get back to Africa.
Mhm.
And but I really loved South Africa, and we got a chance to shoot our video,
Out
one of our
there?
videos there, United Front. Antoine
Yeah.
Fuqua was the director,
Wow. Okay.
and we got a chance to go to Zululand and shoot the video there.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So
Yeah.
that
You
was
you have
awesome.
traveled. You traveled the world, and
Yes.
that's the beauty of it. Wow. You spoke about your daughter, your mother, the passing. I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
And how does your personal experiences influence your music?
A lot.
Yeah.
uh, I'm kind of one of those, not kind of, but I'm what you see, what you
Mhm.
get
What
type
you see? What you
vibe.
okay?
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I like to, just put experiences, all my music really,
Hmm.
whether it be about relationships or just the world or life or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely influences,
Wow.
everything, because you want to be genuine. You want to talk about what's real.
That's right.
You know what I
That's right.
mean?
That's
And
right.
so for me, that's real. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I definitely tap into that. I definitely tap into that. So
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's great. Yeah, because sometimes it's like people will go out and go through just in life. Period. You go through so much in life.
yes,
It
yes.
seems like when you're a musician, you make the best music. I don't know why it's like this. When you're going through a lot of pain and went through a lot of turmoil in your life, and you get on a record, you're pouring out your heart, or
Mm-hmm.
or family issues, and it seems like people make multi platinum hit records, like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and that aspect of what I just said, do you think that when you don't have anything going on in your life, that you can still make a great record?
Well, let's just say this. In reality, I think we all got something going
Yeah,
on.
if someone really, well, everybody has something going on, but if it's
Yeah,
not that deep, where you have been really like scarred. Some people are left with scars and bruises, and
Yeah.
you know,
But you know what? I think it's you know, I think people write about what means something to them. You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay.
I
Well,
think I think you can write songs like because when I'm in a happy place, I write songs. You know what I mean?
okay.
And I'm one of those type of people. I smile kind of through everything. I
Oh,
rarely get angry, and when I do, it has to be a lot that
is
makes me angry.
okay. Explosion,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah, but I don't. That's not my vibe. I'm a smiler. I
Yeah, that's
smile
cool. That's cool.
all the time through sadness, whatever. So
Hmm.
this is how I guess just have coped since I was a little girl.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I've written songs when, I mean, sad, happy, whatever. You know what I
mhm.
mean? I just think whatever is in you and sometimes I just jot the songs down, just the lyrics, and then come
Right.
back to them later. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just
Okay.
all depends. But I think everybody goes through something. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a trauma related to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it could
Mhm.
be a beautiful side too. It could be joy. It can be, all of
Okay.
that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
So I think you don't necessarily have to go through anything to write something, but I believe that what
Yeah, yeah. Not all the
someone,
time, but yeah,
yeah, yeah, and
yeah.
whatever, like it's subjective. So whatever you're going through, you may be like, oh, that's nothing compared to what you're going through. I may
That's
say the
right.
same thing
That's
to
right.
you. You know what
That's
I mean?
right. That's
So
right.
I never want to diminish anybody experience, or what gives
Yeah.
them inspiration, because some people, they might just have to be in a happy place in general to write.
That's right.
Everybody
You're right.
has a different vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
me, I write about all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah. 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 And you do. And that's a great what you just said. I need to piggyback off of that. How do you explain or how do you explain the music that you create?
again, it's just self-expression. It's just where I'm at, right, like in that moment or in that season of my life. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'll look back on stuff that I wrote when I was a preteen or a teenager, or that I've never
Yeah.
released. And
That's
still really good stuff that
wow.
I was forward thinking, or early 20s, or early 30s, or
Mhm.
whatever. And it's like the feeling I had then, I don't feel that way anymore. Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Because
So
you're more mature, you're older, you're advanced in
yes,
life. Yeah.
growing.
Yeah. You're growing. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yes, yes. So, and when you continue to live life, your interests change, and things that used to affect you don't affect you anymore. And it was like
Mhm.
I was telling someone when I turned 50, it was like a light switch came on, and it was like the stuff that I cared about even last year, I don't care about anymore. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's just you just get to a place, and you're like, and I, have gone through a lot in my life, and I try to, I don't want to look like what I've been through. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's wonderful. And it comes with a lot of growth. I'm telling you,
Yes,
it does. Growth,
definitely.
no, first it comes with serving Christ. That's one. He
Yep.
gives you the growth
Yes.
so you can move on. That's exactly what it
Yes.
does.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And I just want to ask you, how do you balance addressing social issues in your music while still being commercially successful?
Again, I do it in a way where it's not like preachy. It's more so about I make it a personal experience, if that makes sense.
Personal
I
experience.
try to
Yeah,
just continue this, you know, how things affect me or how I move or whatever.
yeah.
And I try to just, drop nuggets here and there, but you know,
Hmm.
you don't want to preach at people. You kind of want to just serve it to them on a
Yeah,
nice platter.
basically. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
You know what I
gotta,
mean?
how they say, you gotta spoon feed, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you give
yeah.
it here little, there little. You
Yeah,
know,
because Lord knows I'm not perfect. You know what I mean?
no
So
one, no one's. You're right.
right. I don't
Hmm.
want to present that, you know what I mean? So I'm still learning, I'm still growing, you know what I mean? So I just want to do music that connects with people, my tribe,
That's
because I
right.
know everything is not for everybody. Everybody is not for everybody. I get that, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? So, but just my tribe, the people that I'm supposed to connect with,
Yeah.
that's what I'm excited about.
Wow, well, that's wonderful and it's well said. And I just want to talk
Thank
about
you.
the female, the female artists today. Like, what are your
Mhm.
thoughts on some of the artists of today? Do you think that they often misrepresent the message of hip hop? And,
Well,
and and it could be the male, yeah, the males too. Mhm.
honestly, to be honest, I
Yeah,
am an old school girl.
me too. I am too.
So
That's
I
right.
listen, it's a lot of like, it's a lot of great talented artists out here. It
Mhm.
really, really is.
Yeah,
And a lot of times I go and search and I find them.
yeah.
Sometimes they're not in the mainstream.
Okay, okay.
And I go and search, and even being I've done artist development over the years. I work with artists you probably wouldn't even think that I work with, that
Wow.
had a
Yeah.
completely different message for me, and they would come and respect me, and I would respect them, and
Mhm.
wanted to understand, well, why are you talking about this? Why is it coming from this place?
That's
And
right.
it's their experience, and sometimes people feel like they have to do music to sell records,
Yeah.
because unfortunately, like I spoke to earlier, sometimes the industry, whatever, however you came out, how they remember you, that's how they want to keep you sometimes in a box. And
Yeah.
sometimes as an artist you're not allowed to grow, because believe it or not, you have people who quote unquote do conscious music. They might have done a totally different type of music before,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
was maybe more violent, you know what I
That's
mean?
right.
But
That's
they
right.
got a chance to
They turned
um
it around. They
yes.
went a different route this time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just, I don't, honestly, I'm not trying to judge anybody. You know, a lot of the artists that are mainstream, they're young, and they're talking about their experiences. You know what I mean? And a lot of them are extremely talented. And I do believe as time, as you grow in life, you're going to continue to grow, you're going to
Hmm.
continue to change, and you're going to continue to evolve if you're
That's
open
right.
to it.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean?
That's right.
And, I work with a lot of young people. So you kind of got to get to their level to understand, why is this appealing to you, or why, what about this resonates with you? And a lot of them, they feel like it's authentic.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
The
and
one.
and, and I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that's the thing. People want authenticity. So, like I said, I try to find something great about everybody, where they're like, they're amazingly beautiful. They have a nice flow. I like their voice tone. I may not per se listen to the music, but just great personality.
That's right.
Whatever. Because let's just be real. A lot of people do stuff to get their family out of the
That's right.
situation. They
That's
knows
right.
what's gonna happen quick, and and again, I'm you know again, I'm not perfect, so I'm not trying to judge
Yeah. Yeah. No.
anyone.
No. No one is perfect. But do you think
Right.
that should artists in general overall should
Yeah.
artists be held personally responsible for their actions of fans who might be influenced by their lyrics?
Well, are we talking about children, like
Yeah,
kids?
yeah. You like just in general as a whole, when the artists come out,
Mm,
bring out a song or listen or someone listen to an album, mainly the children, mainly the
right.
kids. So do you think
Well,
that they should be held responsible for?
for me, that's a touchy subject, kind of like,
Okay,
it's a touch and go. For
okay.
me, I feel like, genuinely feel like, okay, as parents, because I'm a mother,
Hmm.
I monitor what my daughter listened to
Oh,
growing
okay.
up.
See, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I also exposed her to a lot of music. So I
Hmm.
said, I would I would say, well, why do you like that, or why are you listening to it? So I would sit with her and say, let me hear what you like to listen to,
Yeah, yeah.
and then check this out. you know.
Okay,
And so
okay,
she got into like Tina Turner,
okay.
Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, Lauryn Hill, and even to this day, she has a very broad spectrum of the
Oh,
music that she really listens to.
yeah.
But I had open dialogue with her to, not saying, no, you did it, why are you listening, or why was this, or why do you like that music? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think as a parent, what I learned,
Uh-huh.
just coming to your child, and especially when they're in their preteen teen stage, trying to
Yeah.
understand,
Yeah.
they'll open up to you more when you're open with them, because
That's
then they
right.
feel like they can talk to you more. You
You
know
gotta
what I
make them. You
mean?
gotta make them feel comfortable. Like
Exactly.
they can come to you.
Exactly. And like I've taught like hip hop classes and things of nature, and I even expose my students to the De La Souls, the tribe, and they're like,
Oh
oh,
wow,
I
that's
like
good.
that.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So it's like, and then I'll say, well, who do you listen to? And then they'll tell me, oh, okay, let me check them out, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would it was a compromise. You get what I mean?
Okay.
So, but I just think parents, we have to watch what our kids listen to.
You're
But
absolutely
honestly,
right. Yeah.
yeah, it's hard because when they go to school and they're around their friends, it's different. You can't control. My daughter was homeschooled, but it's hard
Hmm.
to, you can't keep them in a bubble either. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But it's that's a tough one, because
Hmm.
you want people to, like, even when we came out, you had a plethora of different type of artists,
That's
so
right.
you could pick and choose the type of music you want to listen to. But
Buffet
I think,
style.
right, and
Buffet
it,
style.
yeah, it was different, right?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
had this group, you had
That's
that group,
right.
you had
That's right.
us. So
Hmm.
if it was something that resonated with you, you kind of gravitated to that more.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean?
That's right.
But I think now we do need more diversity
Hmm.
and more um in the mainstream is what I'm saying. But again, we're in a different era where we didn't have the internet back then.
Yeah.
Now you can go search for artists on your own.
On your
It's
own.
artists
That's
that's
right.
not even in the mainstream that are so positive, and whatever. You can
Hmm.
find that type of music that's super dope if you like that. But if you want to, just being force fed a lot of the stuff that you hear
That's right.
as mainstream. But I just encourage people to go research on your own. But as an artist, you don't want to take away your free speech. But
Hmm.
I know for me, let me just speak for me. Me as an artist, I definitely take responsibility in the art that I put out. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Because I
Hmm.
want to make sure that it's something that resonates with every
Yeah.
generation, from the little ones to the older ones. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
And
That's right.
music that's gonna uplift, change, or even just make you feel good or resonate with
That's
you
right.
on some
That's
level.
right.
So me
Hmm.
personally as an artist, I do that. But again, I think parents have to regulate what the kids listen to
Hmm.
and watch. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
But when you grown, you do what you do. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
That's right. You do what you do. You do
You
what
do
you
what
want
you
to do
do.
when you're grown. You're right about that. When you out of my house, then you go ahead. You do what you want to
Let
do.
do what you do. Do what you do. But me,
Yeah.
like, I love growing up. Like my daughter, she listened to a lot of Lecrae, Tedeschi, like a lot of Christian hip
Wow.
hop,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Okay.
all of
Okay.
them. And then like I love Ty Tribbett. I listen to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So
You know
you
what I mean?
versatile. It doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
versatile. You listen to everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do too. I grew up listening to all types of music. I
Yes.
did. Yep.
Yes. I was over my youth group at my church. So I was over
Uh-huh.
the drama department for
Oh,
like
okay.
16 years. And so
Okay.
we would do all the hip hop. And then sometimes I would take mainstream hip hop instrumentals and just, add them. I would get DJ to mix the record. So it was like I was exposing them to Christian hip hop, this, that, and then they would bring
Mhm.
music to me. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
So,
Okay. Okay.
and I had little bitty ones all the way from like 2, 3, well, maybe 5 years old, all the way up to adults. So it was cool,
Well,
just exposing them.
just exposing them and teaching them. That's
Yes,
wonderful. I always had a debate with someone. We all know that Arrested Development is a hip hop group. This it falls into hip hop.
right.
Can you also say Afrocentric or either native tongue? Which one of those will be more, or which title will fit better? Because we had a debate. Is it native tongue, Afrocentric? Like which one is it?
I, I would say Afrocentric. We have,
Okay.
um, I would say it's a very diverse
Diverse. Okay. Okay.
energy.
Okay.
You have some Afrocentric aspects, components. You have some rural South components.
Okay, so it's a little bit of
Uh,
everything.
yeah, a little bit of everything. I feel like
Wow.
you, to me, you had some Caribbean. You know what I mean? Because even back in the '90s, we would do shows with rock
Rock band. What?
tours,
Wow. Okay.
R&B.
Yeah.
We were the opener for In Vogue. You know what
Oh.
I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, that was our first major tour, and they were awesome. The girls were amazing, and and we did Lollapalooza. You know
Oh.
what I mean?
Okay.
And that was like, I think Metallica was on that tour, Rage Against the
Wow.
Machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we were able to kind of morph into a lot of different lineups, if you
Mhm.
will.
Okay. Yeah.
We've
That's fine.
done folk festivals where it was just, stripped down, you
Mhm.
know. So yeah, I think we're, I would say, just a gumbo of everything. You know what I mean? A lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
different
It
things.
just mixed all in
Oh
great
yeah,
things. It's all great things. It's like a soup,
thank you.
a gumbo. Yeah.
Yes,
Got a lot of good flavors and everything in there. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Wow. Okay.
yes.
Well, that's settled. That's settled. All right. So now
But
I
you know
can
what?
keep my
I love that debate. I feel like people can, um, everybody has their own perception or
perception. Yeah.
interpretation of what they think the
Yeah.
group is, and
Yeah.
that's fine. Hey,
Yeah. Because it's just something that people like. I would like to know that, so that's why I asked the
yeah,
question. I would love to know that. You know,
yeah,
as a creative director,
yes.
mentor, motivational speaker, who is currently a part of the creative team of various new artists, can you explain or break it down, like exactly what do you do with these artists when you have them in your position?
Woo, I do a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes I'm a counselor. Okay,
Oh, the
I'm
therapist.
yes, I'm a mother.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
A auntie.
Yeah.
uh,
Uh-huh.
just all those things. I share my experiences with them. I help
Yeah.
them to um, help guide them, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
or you know, be uh, a light, if you will, in the
Yeah.
industry. Because a lot of times the people that I work with, by the time they get to me, they've gone through a lot. You know what I
Oh
mean?
wow, wow, wow,
Been through a lot of bad experiences, and
wow.
so
Mm-hmm.
I've had artists that didn't even want to do music anymore, and I encouraged them, and just me working with them, thank God, I
Mm-hmm.
give all the glory to God. I brought them back to
Wow, that's good.
wanting to do music again, and and
Wonderful.
so and it's all a part of my purpose, because I myself, I got out of this industry for 2 years. I was like, I don't want no parts of it, because it was
Oh,
just the way people move, and just a lot of things. I was like, yeah, it
shiesty,
didn't,
little shiesty, and this and
it
that.
can be,
Yeah, yeah.
it didn't feel right to my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And then God was like, it's time to go back. And when your purpose is connected to, the something that you do, it's hard to walk away from it. It's gonna
Okay.
keep coming back, because your purpose is connected to it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's bigger than me. So I share my experiences. I mean, I have dancers that I've worked with to dance for all kinds of folks now. Some of the
Wow.
major artists out here. I
Mm-hmm.
have people that I've trained that are on TV shows, major TV shows, actors,
Mm-hmm.
actresses, they're doing all kinds of stuff. They've gone on to do great things,
Mm-hmm.
so I do media training,
Mm-hmm.
stamina training,
Wow,
performance
wow,
etiquette, how to
wow.
work a room, because a lot of people don't know how to work a room as an artist,
Mm.
because you have to be memorable.
So yeah, did you learn all of this just by you traveling and doing shows yourself?
My mother taught me.
She
And
taught you
then I
everything. Wow.
also, she was the foundation of it all. And then getting out here, doing it myself, and just learning, again, through trial and error
Era, yeah,
myself.
yeah,
Then I
yeah.
learned it, and I said, well, let me help these people so they don't have to go that route. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm giving them insight firsthand. Something that took me 10 years to learn will
Wow.
take you 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I did uh getting people's bodies in shape, like physical training, everything. I mean, vocals, the whole nine, and whatever I could do, I outsourced it because I know a lot of people that do amazing things that
Yeah.
help train, and
Hmm.
I've done that as well. So I give people vision for their artistry. Help them develop their shows, give them
Wow.
dancers,
Wow.
choreography,
Mhm.
because I think it's very important for artists to be able to hold the stage by themselves
Wow.
first and
Yeah, that's very
foremost.
important, right? Yeah.
Yes. And then if you can bring dancers and all this other stuff, that's just like icing on the cake.
Yeah.
But you, as an artist, definitely should know how to hold the stage yourself.
Hmm.
And so, and I encourage them, I said, just because, especially now in this era, okay, you may not have a whole bunch of Instagram followers or these type of followers or whatever. So what? That doesn't make you less of a person.
That's right. That's
However,
right.
when you get in front of a crowd, you can hold somebody's attention for 30 seconds or
Hmm.
less when you're swiping. But when you're in front of a crowd, you got to be able to hold somebody's attention. Either you got a 15-minute set, a
That's right.
30-minute set, a
That's right.
45-minute set, an
Hmm.
hour set, or 2 hour set.
Hmm. That's right. So
you
you
know,
got, yeah, you're right.
so it's,
You got to know how to hold
yeah.
it down.
Yeah,
That's
so I
right.
teach them, how to maintain.
Hmm.
Also one of the first things I ask my clients when I work with artists is, what are your vices? What's your vice? Do what you like to do.
What you like.
And I
That's right.
tell people, whatever that is, may I encourage you to get therapy first, get it before getting into this business.
Hmm. That's right. Do therapy first. That's right. It's nothing wrong with that. Have you
Yes.
came across? Well, I know you just spoke about that. Just came across people that was really under a lot of stress. I mean,
Yeah.
almost suicidal. Um,
Yes.
how did you actually pull a person away from that? What techniques do you use to de-escalate that type of mental meltdown?
Love.
Wow.
Love.
Wow.
That's it. Love, and just showing that you care and concern. I'm one of those type of people. I like anybody who really knows me. I'm gonna call and check on you, see about
Okay.
you,
Okay.
and I'm one of those type of people. So
Okay.
constantly calling, how you doing? You doing good today? What's going
Oh
on? But
wow, that's
and
wonderful.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes I would do sessions where we would just talk.
Hmm.
Let's talk. What's going on with you? Because if a person's mind is not clear and their heart and their spirit is, you're really not gonna be able to get nothing out of them.
No.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would always, that's why I always ask people, what's your vice? What is it
Yeah.
that, because a lot of us, like me, you have trauma coming into this industry. And again, from my era back when I was coming up, it was so much crazy stuff happening. There was a lot of great things too, but it just masked that trauma. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
makes it
Yeah.
worse
It makes it
and worse
worse.
and worse.
Hmm.
So, like I said, I encourage people, like, go get therapy, like see about yourself, make sure
Hmm.
your health is good. You know what I mean? Make sure you're good and understand that this is not a fly by night type of thing. Like this business, it has a lot of highs and a lot of lows,
My
and
highs and
when it's
lows.
low, it's low, and when it's high,
Wow. Wow.
and
Wow.
everything in between. And you have to be consistent. And I think that's where anything, like, consistent. Know
Hmm.
what you're in it for,
Hmm.
and get as much out of it as you can. And now it's worse because you have social media. So you
Hmm.
have all these people putting their opinions and blah, 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 blah. You have to block all that out. You know what I mean? And understand, why are you doing this? What is your
That's right.
mission?
That's right.
Because again, for me, I asked God, is this part of my mission? I know what I can do. I know what you gifted me in. But if this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, then show me what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so when God revealed to me what it was, and it was very interesting,
Yeah.
because right after that, what God said, then it was like all kinds of stuff happened
That's
in
right.
my life.
That's right. Yeah,
You
that's
know what I
right.
mean? But it's still purpose. So that's why I'm still here doing what I do,
Mhm.
because of purpose. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And I know that it's greater than me. And I'm influencing some, because I work with women and men.
Amen.
I work with
Amen.
I work with white artists, I work with Asian artists, I work with all types of artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, black artists, hip hop, R&B, pop, you know, just different people.
Yeah, different genres.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. To get to, you know, doing whatever God wants me to do. So, and even now, I'm evolving from what I was doing prior to. So now
Wow.
I'm just doing more creative direction and choreography and moving over into a whole nother realm.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
yeah, that's
Well,
important because at one point I was suicidal. I not saying that I actually did something to myself,
yeah,
but it definitely crossed my
it
mind.
just the thoughts in your mind,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
definitely crossed my mind.
I just you just spoke on that because I was getting ready to say something. I was going to say, isn't it amazing when you give your life to God,
Yes.
no matter how many, like you said, you had suicidal thoughts, but did
Hmm.
you, how many times you found yourself helping someone else with the problems you had on your own? Like,
Listen,
isn't that amazing how God just put that on you like that?
listen, baby,
Wow.
we can talk about that for days.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. And it feels good at the moment because it takes whatever's going on with you away. Now you're
Yes.
helping someone else.
Amen. Like
Wow.
I remember one. I could give you an example. One time, well, in 20 December 2021, I was diagnosed with breast cancer,
Yeah.
and I went through the battle of it in 2022, and I'm still, my body is still literally
You're
recovering
going,
from
yeah.
that treatment.
Hmm.
So I remember going to radiation every day. And it was like a job. You have to go from like it's like a 9 to 5. You go
Yeah.
every day of the week, Monday through Friday.
That's right.
And I remember asking God, I was some days I felt so horrible. I was so sick. But I said, God, you told me what my purpose is.
Yeah.
And I want to be a light everywhere I go. Tell me what I need to do. So every day I would go, I would see the same people every day. They didn't know me, I didn't know them, but
Hmm.
I would just come in and muster up everything I get. Hey, how y'all doing? Da, 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 da. And I made friends. And I remember one
Hmm.
particular patient, he said, he was there with me. He said, you make, he said, I look forward to coming to radiation now because I
Wow.
know I'm
That's
going to
right.
run into you. You know,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
so you have to like, you're talking about working through your pain.
That's
You
right.
got to work through your pain. And most of the time in my life, this has been my experience. When I'm going through something, that's when God have me praying for people the most,
That's right.
you
That's right.
know, sowing into them in some type of way the most.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And it's those are the times, you know, reaching out to people who may not be reaching out to you, you know,
Hmm.
that type of thing. Because God is always like obedience, obedience, obedience. And when I'm obedient, then beautiful things come behind that, you know. Because even now,
Hmm.
I caregive for my dad. My dad's been sick for over a year, and some months now. And me and my sister
Wow.
do it, but I still pursue my dreams. I still do everything else while caring for my father who has dementia, and that's a whole
Yeah.
nother
Yeah.
level.
My grandmother had
So
dementia. You're right about that.
you know
Yeah.
what it's about, and
Yeah.
strokes and all that kind of stuff. So you know, it's easy to wallow in your own stuff, and trust me, I've had moments where I'm like, man, okay,
That's
what
right.
is going on?
Yeah. That's right.
But you know, but then I'm like, you know what? I look back on stuff that I survived and got through, and I was just like, God, in that moment, it
Wow.
just felt like the worst thing ever. And then now I'm looking back on it on the side of victory. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Wow.
And
You
I'm looking
mentioned
back at it and I'm like, wow, look at God, look what God did.
it's victory. It's listen,
Yes.
and sometimes you can't even believe how you got through, but God,
Listen,
only God can make that happen.
listen,
And
don't let me run around this room now. You about to make me shout.
I'm serious. You know what? You've mentioned going through chemo. Well,
Well,
I
I didn't do chemo. I opted
well
out of doing chemo, but I did radiation. And I
radiation.
had surgery.
I meant to
And
say
so
radiation. You went
yes.
through radiation, and I went through dialysis for 5 years.
Oh wow.
And when you on dialysis, they give you these two big needles and you sit in
Mm,
there for 4 hours. But my thing is this, I was more happier when I used to see, there's a lot of elderly people there. When I used to see
Yes.
and they used to say my name, hey Tommy, good morning. You know, just watching them be happy
Yes.
and seeing them get up and go there every morning. I said, I know I can do this. Like these people, they could be my grandmother and grandfather here.
Yes.
And I really
Yes.
enjoy it's I don't know if it's sad to say, but I enjoy going just to see them, you know,
Mm.
to see the look
Mm-hmm.
on their faces and to see how they be so happy to see me. So I know what you're talking about because
Yeah.
they love to talk to me, and
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be weak getting off that
Yeah.
machine. My body be
It's
weak,
rough.
but it's like they kind of build me up. It's funny how
Yeah.
that goes.
But
You
to
know,
me, it actually, this is kind of probably weird to say, but it kind of restored my faith a lot in humanity.
yeah, of course,
You know
of
what I mean?
course,
Because it
of
was just
course.
like, you got white folks here, black folks here, young. Oh, it don't
That's
matter.
right. It don't
We
matter.
all sitting here for the same thing
That's right.
in different parts of our body.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean?
That's right.
Some people I met this gentleman. He was like, he kept having a sore throat
Oh wow.
and found out he had throat cancer. He
Mm,
was 70 some years old. He said, just a year ago, I was in Spain, having a great time.
yeah.
You just never know. Like, and
Yeah.
it really puts things in perspective for you.
Hmm.
And some other things happened around the time right before I got diagnosed. I was sitting at a stop sign and two cars hit me from the front.
Wow.
And so, and I walked away without a scratch. My car
Wow.
was totaled, but no scratch.
But not yeah.
And
It's just yeah. You was
you know what I
fine.
mean? And I just was like, God, you are so good. You brought me through so many things, and you're going to continue to bring me through so that I can continue to be a testimony for people, because
That's right.
people don't really, it's like, how can you relate to people if you've never been
You've
through
never been. That's right.
anything? You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? And
That's
then
right.
sometimes it also gives you compassion and empathy for others. And, you know, especially now, like even this year, I've had a lot of growth. A lot of growth has taken place within me this year
Understood.
in areas that I wanted to grow.
Hmm.
And you look back and you're like, wow, you look at a situation and your perspective on it is completely different from how you looked at it in the beginning.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
It's different. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
emotional intelligence and just maturity on it,
Hmm.
all levels. You know what I mean? Just growing up in some
Wow.
areas.
Wow. Wow. That was wonderful. And this is something that can go on for another hour, 2 hours. Just talking about God. Period. It could just go
Yes,
on. You know.
yes.
But as a choreographer, how do you stay up to date on current trends and techniques in the dance world?
Taking classes. I love to take classes, and then I also just I'm on, like, my daughter encouraged me back in 2020 to get on TikTok, and she was like, "Mom, you should get on TikTok. You dance." And I promise you, when I was on there, when I
Yeah.
first got on there, it was like I was like one of the only adults on that app,
Wow. Okay.
and so I stay up on that and just just always looking at the new choreographers that's coming up, the dancers,
Hmm.
just different people. And also, like I said, I just like to take class
Hmm.
to stay up to date. And also, I like to just go in my own mind, in my own space, because
Yeah.
sometimes you don't want to get too influenced by someone else's style or
Yeah.
technique. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, and I love Debbie Allen. So she's such an inspiration to me.
Oh,
And the
okay.
great Judith Jameson that just passed, her as
Hmm.
well. So I love, I grew up, technically trained. So that's important to me too, technique. So yeah, I'm constantly training. I don't think I ever stop dancing and
Good. Yeah,
training.
because it's something that you really enjoy, and
I do. I
it's
love
kind of
it.
like it's a peace of mind for you. You know. You
Yes.
know, helping
Yes.
people dancing, it's just peaceful. You know.
Yeah, that's how I release, actually. That's my release. I don't smoke, I don't drink,
Wow.
do
Okay.
any of that.
Okay.
So dancing is my release. That's how I
That's right.
woosah.
That's right. Woosah. That's your woosah. Let's let's go to live performances.
Okay.
The Grammy Awards, the NAACP Awards, the Trumpet Awards, Soul
Yes.
Train Music Awards, the Billboard Awards, MTV Music Awards. You have a whole list, that I can talk about. What is your most memorable moment out on tour?
I don't tour.
Like touring. What is your most memorable, funny story touring?
Let's see. Oh my God. So many. To be honest, I just let's see, let me think. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
uh I think one moment that really stood out to me when we performed opened up for James Brown in
Oh
Japan.
wow, how was that? James
That
Brown.
was cool. And just to see him do his thing live. And my sister, well, Heather Hayes, Isaac Hayes' daughter, and my sister used to dance for James Brown together.
Hmm.
And at the time, she danced for James Brown, and she had just performed with us
Okay.
on our set too. So that was cool to get to see her do her thing with him.
Hmm.
And it was interesting, and how he docked people. He would dock them while he was performing.
Oh
I was
wow,
like,
wow.
that James Brown didn't play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How was his attitude and his character, being around him?
We weren't around him a whole lot,
Okay. You ever
but
get a chance to talk to him?
I didn't talk to him much, you know what I mean? Just say hello. That
Oh,
was it. But
yeah.
old school, that old school, old
Yeah,
school
yeah. That's right.
vibe.
That's right.
And
That's right.
suited up,
Mhm.
just like how you would expect him to be. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But he was serious about his craft. And like I said, back in the day, that's what they do. They dock you while they're on stage performing.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
to see
That's
that
right.
live and in person, I was like, that's pretty interesting. And so,
Wow. Wow.
it was cool to watch him. Watching In Vogue, touring with them. Oh, it was so amazing. Those ladies, they were so awesome. Shout out to them because,
Mhm.
when you're opening act, you get a small part of the stage and they made their crew, their people like, push our stage set back so they can have enough room.
Oh wow.
So they
Okay.
understood like looking out for another artist. So shout out to In Vogue.
Shout out to
And
En Vogue.
shout
That's
out to
right.
In Vogue. They were super cool. And
Yeah.
then I mean, it was so many great moments. Like I can't really
Mhm.
pinpoint one per se, but
Yeah.
like when we won the Grammys, we won the NAACP, Heavy D
That's
sat
right.
behind us, and I
That's
had
right.
the
That's
biggest
right.
crush on Heavy D. And so that was cool.
Okay. Okay.
I was so
Yeah.
young though. I was way too young. So, but for him, but yeah, I mean, we had a lot of great moments, like just touring Australia and New
Australia.
Zealand, having you know, the indigenous people perform for us. It was just awesome. We were in Australia and New Zealand,
Yeah.
and it was, I mean, I've had so many great experiences. I can't just one thing, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Just so many awesome experiences. And I'm looking forward to making more memories and
That's
more
right. That's
experiences
right.
moving
That's right.
forward.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean?
Wow. Wow. I'm not sure because I know wasn't it two women in the group or just or more and
And
Arrested Development.
yeah. So it was me and Tari, early
Okay.
Tari.
Which one of you said, ah, hey,
Me,
you know. Oh, okay.
that was me.
Can you say that little verse? It was a little verse you said. Can you say that again? I would love to hear
Yes.
that right now.
You never know who you're stepping to. You might get stabbed, shot, killed, or
Or
hurt.
hurt.
It's not even worth it. Hey, hit
Hit
it.
it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah. I only have two more questions for you because
Sure.
I don't
Oh
like
yeah,
to
I
keep
want to
you.
say this. Shout out to the Roots. We went on tour with them
Black
this year.
Thought, the Roots.
That was so much fun. The Roots, and then we did a show at the Hollywood Bowl with Queen Latifah, MC Light, Rage,
Wow,
Yo
wow, wow,
Yo, uh,
wow, wow,
Black Sheep,
wow. On the
golly,
West
Jungle
Coast?
Brothers, uh,
Wow.
Diggable, Fireside. It was awesome. And I know I'm missing somebody coming. It was amazing. That was great. And the
Wow,
50
wow.
year hip hop celebration on television, that was awesome too.
That was very. That's right. That's right. Y'all brought it. Y'all brought it that day.
Yeah,
Every time
thank
y'all
you.
perform, y'all rip the stage and make people know we were here. Arrested
Yeah, it
Development
was
was
fun.
here.
We had a great time. We had a great
Yeah.
time.
So that show out there with Common and some of
Yeah.
the native tongue groups. How did you get that phone call? Was it something like we need y'all to come out with with the group also.
Yeah,
How did that happen?
I think, Speech called me and was like, "Hey, you want to come do the show?" Questlove had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, he invited us out, and it was awesome. The people invited us out, and it was an incredible experience. And Queen Latifah, I love her. I hadn't seen her in a long time, so seeing her was amazing, and seeing everybody was just really, really great. And we had a good
Wow.
time.
That's wonderful. That's
I
wonderful.
mean, yeah, and it was like we were all like fans of one another, so we all on the stage just having
That's
a good
right. That's
time,
right.
and
It's
it
it's,
was
it's
it was
that
great.
vibe. It's the energy.
Yeah,
It makes you feel good. It does.
yes, it was so good. It was crazy because the cameramen behind the scene, they were like chill bumps. They were like, we haven't felt this type of energy in years,
Yeah,
because it was just
that's
so
right.
much good music.
That's right.
Music that elevates your soul and your spirit in the same, time, at one time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love the whole show. I thought the whole show was amazing, but of course I'm going to be biased. I loved our section the most.
Of course, yeah, you got to represent your section.
Yeah, I
Represent
love
your
the whole
section.
setup, the
Yeah, yeah,
library, how they made it like a whole library. It
yeah,
was just
yeah.
so cool. Like, and Talib was on there as well, and Dayla. It was
Hmm.
awesome. It was great.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. You had a great time out there.
Yes, I
Wow.
did.
I just wanted to just like I said, I have one more, two more.
Okay.
Let's talk about in 1996. The group broke up. Arrested Development broke up in 1996. Correct.
94.
94.
Yes.
What brought y'all back together?
Well, it's funny. I always I say I'm always the one that's kind of like, come on, everybody, let's get back together.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so that's what I did.
Hmm.
Just trying to pull everybody back in to sit down and talk.
Hmm.
And I think what really brought everybody back together was we had more to say.
Okay.
You know what I mean? More to say, more to do, more to prove. And
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I think we tried in like 97. It
Hmm.
didn't work. And then we came back in 98, 99. And then it was just, this was all original members in 97.
Okay.
And then when we came back the latter years, when we did the albums for Japan, the world
Yeah.
global album,
Yeah.
it was me, Baba OJ, Speech, and Razada.
Okay.
So just the four of us. Yeah.
But then after a while, everybody started coming back together again. You know.
Yeah, well, the Early Tariq and Headliner, they haven't. We Headliner came, I think, the Trumpet Awards,
Yeah.
but and I think the Black Music Honors, but
Mhm.
yeah, they don't perform anymore. So now
Okay.
Arrested Development has a new lineup of it's an evolving thing.
Yeah, it is. It
So
is.
yeah, and
It
I
is.
come out, I
Mhm.
do special shows with the group.
Okay. Okay.
I perform and I enjoy it. So shout out to One Love JJ,
Hmm.
Farida,
Hmm.
Tasha LaRae, Speech, and all of the other members that throughout the years, because we've had people that come in for that season or that album or what have you, and then
Yeah.
a new group of people. So yeah,
And you have albums, you have songs yourself
I do.
that's out now. You also was on Overachiever, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to find everything right now. Trying to find it. Well, you do have songs out. King. Let's talk about King.
Yeah, I love it. It's like King was me just paying homage, if you will, or love and respect to the Black man specifically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
um,
right.
so I understand a Black man's struggle. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Because I have a brother,
That's right. That's right.
dad, uncles, friends.
Hmm.
So I get it, and so that's what that song was about.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've written a lot of songs. I actually pulled a lot of those songs because now that I'm working on new music, I'm thinking
Okay.
about remixing a lot of those songs,
Hmm.
reproducing them, and then
Oh
putting them
wow.
out
Okay.
later.
Yeah, yeah. That I think that'd be great if you do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
Wow.
Because what's old to me is new to everybody else. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
That's right. Yeah,
So
you could have made a song 25 years ago, never brought it out.
exactly.
But bring it
exactly. And
out
then I
today.
also, yeah. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, no. That's cool. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
And
listening.
then I also did a song with artist in Japan some years back on his record.
Yeah.
It was called
Hmm.
Lovesick. So yeah,
Lovesick.
and I did a video for that. So yeah, I do a lot of things, you know. Um, and I like writing. I
That's
like the
right.
creative process, period. And I want to be
Hmm.
the best version of myself I can be. So I'm constantly growing and wanting to get better. And you
Hmm.
know, I consider myself more of a definitely a performer.
Hmm.
And I have a raspy voice,
Yeah. Well,
singing voice. And
it's wonderful.
even
You know.
thank you. And even working on maximizing my vocal potential.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Too.
That's right.
So like I don't care about like I'm grateful for all the accolades and everything, but
Hmm.
I still have so much more to prove and so much more to do. Um, it's like it's I'm still not where I want to be. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. You have
Talent.
more to show the world. You know, you have
Oh
more.
yeah,
It's
totally.
yeah.
Totally. And even at 50, I think what my whole mission now is to show people just I hate and I hate is a wrong strong word. So I say I strongly dislike. Let me say
Dislike.
that.
You dislike. That's
I
right.
strongly dislike
Uh-huh.
that you know after you get a certain age, especially being a woman in this business,
Yeah.
sometimes you're like, oh, thrown away,
Hmm.
or you know, people say, oh, you're washed up, or you're has been, or this and you know, in other genres or other, they don't do that. You know, like they
Okay.
do it a lot of hip hop, they do a lot of R&B, but in other genres, they don't do that so much.
Hmm.
They really celebrate their legends or people who came before them.
Okay.
Um, and for me, I want to encourage people that you don't, you know, you can be great at whatever age you are. You can, if you want to come back out and do your thing, if you've been out before, you can do it. You know what I
That's right.
mean?
That's right. That's
So
right.
even after all the health issues and other things I've been through, I'm like reinventing myself, starting over like from scratch, so to speak, and doing what I need to do to be
Hmm.
the best version of myself now.
That's right. That's
The way
right.
I perform now may not look like the way I did when I was in my 20s.
That's right. It's different. There's a difference.
It's
Yeah.
different, but
Hmm.
it's okay. And I'm going to be the best who I can be now. You know what I mean?
Then today.
So
That's right.
yeah, and that's me. I'm just always challenging myself to be great and to do you know greater and be greater. So you know, unfortunately, like I said, you know, a lot of times that is the case. You know, and I do have to say, um, I see things changing now a little bit in that arena that you can still be great, but you know, people unfortunately sometimes they just like to be negative.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why,
And
but you're right. Yeah.
you know, and you have to, you know, you can't listen to people. You got to block them out. If you know that you know that you know, and you have it, and you
Hmm.
have something. I just want to keep doing it, you know. And my spirit is very young, you know, and I don't think 50 is old at all. But you know, starting over, you know,
That's
a
right.
lot of times it's like, whoa, you starting over. And I'm starting over multiple times in my life. You know what I mean?
It's wonderful to do because, like I said, everything is a growth period. You know, you're supposed to
Yes,
grow. Like, why would you want to stay? Why would a person want to stay the same way and
right,
don't have any growth, no travel in them?
right,
It's just, you know, that's just. I
right.
guess that's what people want. They're comfortable. People comfortable
Yeah,
of being who they are.
I can't do
That's
it.
right. Yes, that's right. What what is one thing your fans will be surprised to know about you?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Oh, well, maybe I don't know if this would be surprising, but I've been single for 19 years.
Oh, wait, that's great. That's great.
On
Because
purpose.
can you, but on purpose? Now, can you kind of elaborate on what are the secrets? Because I know sometimes you may want someone in your life, but right now it's about you. You're getting yourself
Well,
together.
you know what's so funny? After when I was married and after, you know, that didn't work out
Yeah,
the way, you know, we hoped, um, I just really took a lot of time for myself and
yeah, that's
said,
right.
you know, I looked it within and wanted to say, okay, let me do this. So what do I need to work on? Let me fix this, or let me, do that. So I just took a lot of time on myself. And then raising my daughter, I just never wanted her to see me with a revolving door.
Okay. Okay.
And people coming in and out my life. Now, have I liked people throughout the years? Yes. But like,
Yeah.
and I've been on maybe 10 dates in 19 years.
Oh wow, wow, 10 days. Wow, so
Maybe.
you really being careful. And
Oh yeah,
do
I'm super careful, and I'm like that now. Like, um, you know, I just, but I'm open, open to whatever God has for me, if that's God's
yeah,
plan for
yeah.
me. But I'm on a mission. So, I'm
Mhm.
moving. So they got to come on, you know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
And
That's right.
prayerfully our aligned together. But yeah, I'm honestly, I've had so much time to just work on me
Hmm.
and raise my daughter. And, when my mom, after she passed, I became like the matriarch in my family.
Hmm.
So not like the matriarch. So it was kind of like I had to put a lot of me, my stuff on the back burner and focus on that.
On
And
hold.
when you
Yeah.
have, elderly parents, you're focused on doing that. I'm one of those type of people. I like to give my energy, a lot. So I can't. You can't spread yourself too thin. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
You're correct. You're right. You're
But
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think people would be surprised because I don't know why, but people always think I'm married.
But because you used you were at one point.
But people never knew that.
Oh, they never knew. Wow. Okay.
No.
You know what what's kind of scary though is trying to find someone today. And what I'm saying is this: there's a lot of people that are lost and don't know Christ. They don't know God. So
Mm-hmm.
now you don't know who you're dating at all. So I
Yeah.
told my wife, if God would allow, we're going to be walking with canes together. Like, listen, we
Come on
we
now.
we're going to be. I don't care how slow we need to walk, but we're going to be together
I love
because
that.
yeah,
I
because
love that.
it's scary out. Listen,
Yeah. Listen, I've
scary
heard the
out
horror
here.
stories
These
on both
women and woo,
sides.
yeah, yeah, both
But
sides.
it's still it's a lot of amazing people out here.
It
It
is.
is. You know.
Yeah.
So you have to know what you want and know what you want.
That's know what you want, know what you want. I want to thank you so much, Ishi Light, for
For
coming on
having
to A
me.
Vision Entertainment. I really do. And
Thank you.
what's next for you? What's coming up for you?
Oh, a lot.
Mhm.
My daughter and I, we're gonna be jet setting all over the world with
Oh
her
wow. Okay.
modeling,
Okay.
my
Good. Good.
music. I'm doing some music with Razadon, one of the original members from Arrested Development.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm touring. I have, like I said, I'm doing a show New
Yeah.
Year's,
Wow.
New Year's
Congrats.
Eve with
Congrats.
Arrested
Congrats.
Development. Thank you,
Uh-huh.
Indignable Planets. Um, Possibly doing more shows with AD and
Wow.
also my own stuff. And I have a documentary coming out. And I've
Mhm.
been doing a lot of auditioning for commercials and
Wow. Okay.
stuff
Okay.
like that because I really want to get a lot more into the TV realm. So I've
Yeah.
already done some
Yeah.
things
Okay.
and I love it. And my daughter acts as well. So yeah, I feel like my personality
That's right.
would
That's
work
right.
great for television.
Things are rolling. They rolling in. You know.
Yes, yes.
And
So yeah, listen, I'm open. I'm like, God, 2025, do your big one. Okay, how about the whole decade? Do your
wow,
big
the whole
one.
decade. Yeah, just look out for me. Just make sure you
Yes, yes. I mean,
take care of
just
me.
and I
Yeah.
want to continue to change the world, inspire any
Yeah.
way that I can through my
Yeah.
art, through my energy,
Mhm.
just through whatever God, whatever vessel, whichever way He wants me to do. I want to just
Yeah.
be a vessel
Mhm.
and continue to grow and being the best version of myself.
That's
Really,
right.
really, really, really taking accountability.
Hmm.
You know, Looking at my victories. Challenges things that I need to work on, my strengths, my weaknesses, all that kind of stuff. Just honestly, just evolving. That's what it's about. Like just evolving.
Evolve.
And I'm on a mission to also lose 70 pounds. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm on a mission to just do that, and that's something I want to do for myself. And just constantly just
Just work.
working on me, and
Doesn't it feel good to just know that you're doing something great for you? For you to
yes. Because my
wow.
daughter, she always says, "Mommy, you always pour into other people. It's time for you to start thinking
It's
about
time for
yourself." So,
you. It's
out of
time
the
for
mouths
you.
of babes.
It's time for you. I thank you. Have anyone
Thank
ever got
you.
your name wrong? You're welcome. Like pronouncing it wrong?
No,
Because
you did good. You did good. So people know me from the rest of them as Montsho-Eshe or
yes,
Eshe.
yes.
And that means Black life, meaning Black, the people, the culture, and life, just meaning life, experiences and joy and this and that. So I
Okay.
was celebrating Black life, Black people, our culture. That's what it meant.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then
Wow.
Ishi light, when God when I started really doing my transformation
Hmm.
personally, God was like, I want you to be a light. So you
Okay.
Ishi light.
Hmm.
So light, Ishi means life, or Eshe, but Ishi, life,
Ishi.
light. So, I'm
Wow.
just
Okay.
using my life to be a light.
The
And
two
that's what
came
I'm doing.
together. It came together and connect perfectly. You
Yes,
know.
yes. So
Wow.
it's that's why I go by Ishi Light now. But when people call me Montsho-Eshe, it doesn't bother me. It's all
Yeah.
good. Some
Yeah.
people call me Ishi,
Yeah.
all that.
This everything that sounds almost close to it. You know.
Exactly.
Ishi. Viewers, we gave you Ishi Light. Just gave you
Woo.
just a little bit of her history because she has so much going on. I want to thank you once again for coming
Thank
on
you for
A Vision
having me.
Entertainment. You're welcome, and hope that we can do it again. I pray that we do this again.
Yes, we will.
You know, God will.
Definitely. And I thank you. And I wish you many blessings on everything you're doing, continued
Thank
success.
you. Thank you.
And
Thank you. Appreciate that.
to your viewers,
Thank you.
supporters, and thank you for watching me. I appreciate it.
Thank
This is Ishi Light, and you are watching A Vision Entertainment. Peace and love.